From a Breaking Bad movie to a brand new Stephen King adaptation, there are some great new Netflix originals landing on the streaming service next month. Let's take a look at everything good coming to Netflix in October 2019. Nobody needs a reminder of the Stephen King revival that's happening right now, but fewer people are aware that King's son, who writes under the name Joe Hill, is also becoming a name to know in the horror world. Hill's 2007 novel Horns was adapted into a film starring Daniel Radcliffe in 2014. And his third novel, Nosferatu, was recently adapted into a series on AMC that looks downright terrifying. So what kind of epic premise could they concoct when they work on a story together? In the Tall Grass is one of those premises that only a king could come up with and only a king could pull off. The film, like the story, follows a pregnant woman and her brother who enter a field of deadly grass after they hear a child crying for help. What follows next is the kind of terror that takes root and doesn't let go. You can get your chlorophyll when In the Tall Grass hits Netflix on October 4th. For 2 seasons now, Big Mouth has proven itself to be one of the raunchiest animated shows available, following the adventures of a bunch of school-aged children as they go through puberty. But underneath the crude humor and poop jokes, you'll find a lot of heart in this show. Creators Nick Kroll, Andrew Goldberg, Jennifer Flackett, and Mark Levin are returning next month with a brand new season, which you'll be able to stream on October 4th. As far as series finales go, Breaking Bad wrapped up its final season with a bow, tying together nearly every dangling plot thread in a breathtaking final few episodes and closing out on Walter White himself sprawled dead in a meth lab. So what's left to tell? Why would creator Vince Gilligan return 6 years later to rip off that bow? One word.
Jesse.
The last we saw of Jesse, he was driving off into the night, cackling like a lunatic, finally freed from those crazy white supremacists. Where does he go from there? Remember, this is a guy who recently found out that his partner watched one of his girlfriends overdose and did nothing to stop it. Then he watched someone execute his other girlfriend, leaving behind a young boy for whom he cares deeply. He's going to be carrying a lot of emotions in this new outing. Strap in when El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, roars onto Netflix on October 11th. The horror continues later this October with Fractured, a tense psychological thriller featuring Sam Worthington and Lily Rabe. Worthington stars as a loving father who goes on the hunt for his daughter and wife after they vanish from a hospital emergency room. The more he searches, the more he begins to suspect that the hospital itself may have something to do with the chilling disappearances. From the sounds of it, Fractured is going to be chock full of fun, guns, and Sam Worthingtons, and you can experience the wild ride on October 11th. It's the month for all things horror, so it stands to reason that Netflix would be doubling down on its scares. If you missed the first season of Haunted when it dropped in 2018, here's the basic premise. People who have had real paranormal encounters meet the show's producers and discuss their experiences, while reenactments play out along with their stories. Look for Haunted Season 2 to scare the living daylights out of you on October 11th. There's a ton of talent packed into The Laundromat, a biographical film about a shady law firm located in Panama that spent years helping some of the world's richest people launder their money. Academy Award winners Meryl Streep and Gary Oldman share screen time with Antonio Banderas in this off-the-wall comedy directed by Steven Soderbergh. After her husband drowns, elderly Ellen Martin, played by Streep, finds herself inadvertently on the trail of a widespread insurance fraud scheme. Forget about all that real laundry you promised yourself you'd do and take a look at The Laundromat when it opens on October 18th. It's a fact, Paul Rudd makes everything better. From Ant-Man to Celery Man, Rudd brings depth, charm, and humor to nearly every character he touches. This guy would never hurt a fly.
You're welcome.
In fact, the only thing better than one Rudd is 2 Rudds, which is why you should definitely watch Living with Yourself. In Living with Yourself, Paul Rudd pulls double duty as a corporate loser just trying to get through the day-to-day grind, and as a better, funnier, smarter version of himself that emerges after he undergoes a mysterious spa treatment. The official trailer teases a show that looks both hilarious and surprisingly creepy. Look for it on October 18th. What would you do if you were one of the last survivors of the apocalypse? As Netflix sees it, you'd either blindfold yourself, keep really quiet, team up with some local high school gangs, take a road trip with your father-in-law, get out of the rain, or just cry a lot. But what's to say you couldn't enjoy that apocalypse? In Daybreak, a nuclear explosion near the town of Glendale turns the area into a wasteland, but that won't stop one teen from living life to the fullest. The trailer promises a Ferris Bueller-style fourth wall-breaking romp, up to and including Bueller himself, Matthew Broderick. Take a look when Daybreak arrives on Netflix on October 24th. Back in the 70s, comedian Rudy Ray Moore created a fictional persona that he named Dolemite. He went on to make a series of exploitation films based around that character and went down in history. Who better to play this loud-talking, swaggering cinematic hero than Eddie Murphy, who steps into the role of Moore with what critics are calling feisty glee. Wesley Snipes and Keegan-Michael Key co-star. And if you're looking for an absolutely wild movie night this October, you can stream Dolemite Is My Name on the 25th. As we wind down the Netflix originals, we have to give a shout-out to some of the new stand-up comedies hitting small screens next month. On the first, you'll get front row seats to Nikki Glaser Bangin', an irreverent stand-up that sees the comic covering everything from sex to careers. On the 8th, look for Dion Cole to take the stage with Cole Hearted, followed by Jenny Slate Stage Fright on the 22nd. Finally, the month will end on a high note with a brand new set from Arsenio Hall, Smart and Classy, on October 29th. That does it for all the fantastic new Netflix originals to look for in October. Now let's see what other movies will be worth staying up for. Netflix's upcoming action films are as diverse as they are explosive. October 1st sees the glut of the new arrivals, with both Charlie's Angels films, Men in Black 2, The Island, and Troy hitting the service all at once. You can also rewatch both Bad Boys films in anticipation of 2020's Bad Boys for Life, which reunites Will Smith and Martin Lawrence as the iconic buddy cop duo. After that, you'll be able to catch the first Men in Black on October 19th, as well as Master Z, The Ip Man Legacy on the 23rd. That's a sweet lineup.
Edgar, what on earth was that?
Sugar.
I've never seen Sugar do that.
It wouldn't be October without some new scares, and Netflix is stepping up to the plate. The first of the month marks the arrival of 1997's horror satire Scream 2, as well as 2016's Sinister Circle. You should also keep an eye out for AMI, an indie screamer about an artificial intelligence in a girl's phone that convinces her to start taking lives. Like the action genre, most of the month's drama editions land at the opening of the month. You'll start seeing some all-time greats in your browsing options, including Blow, Crash, Sin City, The Bucket List, and Trainspotting. We're also getting Oceans 12 and 13, No Reservations, and the Will Smith tearjerker The Pursuit of Happiness. Later in the month, don't miss Dark Crime, starring Jim Carrey way against type as a hard-boiled detective on the hunt for a cold-blooded murderer. And on the 31st, you can't miss Martin Scorsese's classic Raging Bull. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.